How to crochet the Tunisian Ocean stitch, left-handed. To download written instructions for this stitch pattern, visit newstitchaday.com/T12. For this tutorial, you'll need the following materials: a Tunisian crochet hook and a ball of yarn. Special thanks to our sponsor Lion Brand for providing today's yarn. Today we're using their Lion's Pride Woolspun, available exclusively at Michael's Craft Stores, in the color Avocado. For this stitch you'll need to know the following techniques: chain stitch, Tunisian purl stitch, Tunisian simple stitch. To begin the stitch, you'll need to create a foundation chain in multiples of 10 plus 2. Row 1. We're going to begin with our forward pass, so we're going to pull up a loop into the second chain from our hook. So we've got 1, 2, we're just going to insert our hook, yarn over and draw through. Okay, and then we're going to pull up a loop into each chain all the way across. Alright, we're going to finish up row 1 by doing our return pass. So we're going to yarn over our hook, and then we're going to draw through 2 loops, like so. Then we are going to start a repeat by chaining 2. So yarn over and chain 1, yarn over and chain 2. Now we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull this loop through 4 loops on our hook. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is going to create a chain 3 and a shell. Alright, you can kind of see how that shell is being created right there. So let me do that for you one more time. We're going to repeat this all the way across until the end of the row. But we'll do that again. We're going to chain 2, so 1, and then 2. Then we'll yarn over and we're going to pull through 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can do that all at once if you prefer. So we're going to repeat this sequence starting from the chain 2 all the way across until we reach the last 3 loops on our hook. And when we reach the last 3 loops on our hook, we are going to chain 2. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over and we'll draw through all 3 loops on our hook. This is going to make a half shell. Row 2. We're going to begin our forward pass by doing a chain 1. Then we are going to skip this half shell right here, and we are going to start our repeat by pulling up a loop in the next chain. So that's this chain right here. We're going to insert our hook into the chain, yarn over, and draw through. Okay. Then we are going to pull up a loop into the chain between the shells on our foundation chain. So it's going to be down here. So we're going to insert our hook down into the foundation chain, yarn over and draw through. Okay, and we'll pull that up even with our other loops. And then there's actually a chain in the middle here. We're going to skip that and go into the next chain and draw another loop through. Alright, now we will skip the next shell, which is this one, and that's going to end our repeat. So we'll start the next repeat by putting our hook into that first chain of those 3 chains. It might be a little bit tight, so I'm just going to do another repeat for you real quick. Then we will insert our hook into the chain between the shells, draw that up, and then the last chain here we'll insert into and draw a loop through. Alright, so there's another repeat. So we'll keep repeating this all the way across until we reach the last stitch in our row. And when we reach the end of our row, after we've done our last repeat, we're just going to do pull up a loop into the top of this half shell at the end here. So just kind of stick it in there, and we'll just draw a loop up. Alright, now we're going to do our return pass. So we're going to yarn over and pull a loop through, okay, and create a chain. Then we're going to chain one. Now we're going to start our repeat by yarning over and pulling the loop through 4 loops on our hook. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? And once we do that, we're going to chain 2. Oops. And that's going to end our repeat. So let me do that one more time. We're going to repeat this. We're going to yarn over and draw through 4 loops. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 loops, like so. Okay, and you can see that makes another little shell stitch right there. And we'll keep, and then we do chain 2, like so. And we're going to repeat this all the way across until we reach the last 5 loops on our hook. And when we reach the last 5 loops on our hook, we're going to yarn over and draw through the first 4 loops. Okay, and then we are going to chain 1 through the last 2 loops on our hook. And that will end row 2. Row 3, we're going to start our forward pass by chaining 1, and then we are going to skip the first vertical bar, which is this one right over here. And we're going to pull up a loop in the next chain. So we'll just grab that right in here. Okay, pull that up. Then we're going to start our repeat by skipping the next shell. Okay, and we're going to pull up a loop in the next chain, which is going to be this one right here. Alright, then we are going to pull up a loop on the top of the shell in the row below. So we're just going to go right into the top of this shell, yarn over and draw a loop through, like so. Then we are going to pull up a loop in the next chain, okay? So, or this last chain over here. So there's 3 chains that we've created. We're going to go into the 3rd chain of the previous row. Alright, so once you've done that, we're going to repeat that all the way across. So let me do that for you one more time. So again, we have 3 chains, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go into this first chain. It can be a little bit tight sometimes. Okay. Then we're going to go in the top of the shell in the row below. And then in this last chain of those 3 chains, we yarn over and draw a loop through. Alright, so we've got 3 loops like so. And we'll continue repeating this all the way across until we reach the last few shells in our row. Now to finish our forward pass, we're going to skip this next shell and we're going to pull up a loop in the top of the shell from the row before, in the previous row. Okay, and then we're going to pull a loop up into the top of this vertical bar at the end. So just insert your hook into one of those last chains, and there we go. Now for our return pass, we are going to yarn over and we are going to pull through the first 2 loops on our hook, like so. Then we're going to start our repeat by chaining 2, 1 and 2, and then we are going to yarn over and pull through 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And once we do that, we're going to continue repeating. So again, we'll chain 2, 1, 2, then we're going to yarn over and draw through 4 loops on our hook. Okay, and continue doing that all the way across until we reach the last 3 loops on our hook. Now that we've reached the last 3 loops on our hook, we are going to yarn over and, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, then we are going to yarn over and pull through the last 3 loops on the hook. And that will finish up row 3. Row 4, we're going to start our forward pass by chaining 1. Then we're going to skip the half shell that's created right here, and we're going to start our repeat by pulling up a loop in the next chain, right, which is this one right here, right next to it. Then we're going to go into the shell below, in the row below, and we'll pull a loop up there, and then we'll do a loop in this third chain, like so. Alright, then we're going to skip this shell, and that will be the end of our repeat. So we'll start the repeat by doing a loop in the next chain. I'm just doing another repeat. Go into the top of the shell in the row below and pull a loop up, and then in this last chain of the 3 chains we're going to pull another loop up through. So we'll repeat this all the way across until we reach the last shell in our row. And once we reach the last repeat of our row, we're just going to pull a loop up in the top of this half shell, and that will finish the forward pass. So now we're going to do the return pass. So we're going to start by yarning over, and we are going to pull through 1 loop on our hook. Then we're going to chain 1. Then we're going to yarn over. This will start our repeat, and pull through 4 loops on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll finish our repeat by chaining 2. So we've got 1 and 2. Okay, let's do that one more time. So we're going to yarn over and pull through 4 loops on our hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then we are going to chain 2. Okay, so we'll repeat that all the way across until we reach the last 5 loops on our hook. Alright, when we reach the last 5 loops on our hook, we are going to do a yarn over and pull through 4 of these loops on our hook. I'm sorry, I forgot to do our chain 2. That was a chain 1 and a chain 2. Now we will do the yarn over and draw through 4 loops, like so. Then we are going to chain 1 and pull through the last 2 loops on our hook. Alright, so we're going to repeat rows 3 and 4 until we've reached our desired length, and then I'm going to show you how we finish off this fabric on the last row. Alright, to finish up this last row here, we're going to chain 1, and then we are going to insert our hook into the vertical post, and then we'll draw that loop through the loop that's on our hook already. And we're going to do that into each vertical post all the way across. And that's how you crochet the Tunisian Ocean stitch. After a few repeats, your pattern should look like this. Hey! I'm Johnny Vasquez, founder of New Stitch A Day and your teacher for this tutorial.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time to learn from us. If you'd like to see more videos just like this, we produce new content every single day, hence new stitch a day. You can click the subscribe button so that you don't miss a single stitch. And if you click one of the links to the side here, you can see the previous stitch in our series or the next stitch in our series. And if you click this link, you'll be able to see one of my favorites. And don't forget, you can also download a PDF with the written instructions for this tutorial by clicking or using the URL link that's on the screen. Again, I want to thank you so much for learning with us, and I hope that we've helped make your knitting and crochet skills a little bit better today. Yarn on!